for people who are interested in activating their sirtuins or their longevity genes in general, we found that NAD peaks 8 hours after applying our noble products.
So I'm very excited today to have Amitay on the show. He is the co-founder and CEO of Goose, a skincare brand that I've been using myself recently. It's the first brand that I've come across actually that really is biohacking for the skin. And I'm very excited to have you here. So first of all, Amitay, a really warm welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure being here.
Yeah, it's so lovely to have you here. When I first tried these about 3 months ago, I'm always skeptical when I try something new, like how much of a benefit am I going to see? And I started with, I think they're a couple of your hero products, the care products, the eye care and the care cream, the NR Noble. And the difference that I noticed, when it came out, actually, it was so smooth that it just glided across my skin. And it was interesting because your team said to me, they're very much sort of hung back and sort of said, just try this and see what you think. There was nothing asked, which I loved because I was like, this is a really honest brand, right? They just want to know. And I'm the type of person who never really talks about something unless I'm using it and loving it myself. And so I started using it and the benefits were amazing. Within a few weeks, I could really, really see my complexion was brighter. It was smoother. There were lines around my eyes starting, just expression lines that disappeared. I found it extraordinary. And that's when I just started like chatting on Instagram to your team. And I'm just so excited to have you here and share this with my audience. So we'll dive into the technology you're using because it's super exciting to me.
Great. That's first of all, obviously we've designed it, and we're going to talk about the technology more, but that's the entire idea. The idea is not to create a product that's only for a specific line in your face. The idea is to optimize how your skin behaves, right? How to kind of supply it with the right building blocks, with the right direction, and then your skin's just going to repair the damage that it sustained, and it's individual to each and every one of us.
Yeah, so it works with the individual skin for that purpose.
Right.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, in terms of, let's explain, because the technology is really exciting in this, right? It helps to enhance NAD in the skin, which is really exciting. Now, we know that NAD declines hugely with age, but in particular over the age of 50. I'm 46, so it's a big consideration from me, both in terms of optimizing that internally and for areas like my skin. We all want to not just live younger, but look younger, right? Can you explain a little bit about how this technology works in the skincare?
Yes. So first of all, you've made a very interesting distinction, which is separating our supports of supporting NAD levels systemically in our body and supporting it in our skin. Because if we were to try and elevate NAD levels systemically in our body, our liver is going to be the first organ that's really going to enjoy that. Then our muscles, most likely our brain. And that's if you've supplemented on it or if you've done IVs, both. Your skin, first of all, is a huge organ, right? We can't really control, I just want to elevate NAD levels under my chin, or I want it, it's going to go all over. So many people who are interested in optimizing their health and kind of dialing back aging, they're really interested in looking better as alongside these other benefits that they're going to be getting. And that is our aim. Our aim is not to be a silver bullet, just solve all problems. Our goal is to really optimize and biohack the way that our facial skin functions. That's the idea behind the company. And the first modality that we've been aiming at is, as we've spoken about, is raising NAD levels directly in the skin where we apply our products. We've been working with NAD precursors, and I'm sure your audience is very educated and learned about the difference between NAD as a molecule and raising NAD levels in the body. But just in case we're not, and especially if we're talking about the skin specifically, if I just tried to apply NAD to my skin, and people can think about, the way that there were a lot of skin creams 10, 20 years ago that had collagen in them, until people realized you can't just apply collagen on your face and your body's going to magically know what to do with it. Very similarly, your skin doesn't have the right highways for NAD to kind of travel where it needs to go, which is inside your cell, the skin cell. So NAD wouldn't really work if we just had it, in our cream and just said, oh, we have NAD in our cream. It's going to be more for marketing purposes. What we did is we took the building blocks of NAD, the molecules that your body really, really knows what to do with when it needs them, really knows how to get them into your cell and increase NAD levels there. The ones that we use are NR, which is nicotinamide riboside, which came into prominence from research of Dr. Banner and MIT, and that's who's kind of backing NR. And NMN. NMN became famous because of David Sinclair, Dr. David Sinclair, and the Sinclair lab, longevity lab at Harvard. And that's the molecule they're kind of professing and standing behind. And we're using both of them. So we're using NR and NMN. And in order for them to penetrate, to get through our pores, we had to nanosize them. So it's nanosized NR and NMN. And another issue we had to deal with is the stabilization process. So especially NR isn't very stable. And if you see patents around that industry, it's mainly about stabilization. So what we did is lyophilize them. So we've wrapped them with this lipid layer that kind of protects them from the environment. And when you apply it on your face and you basically rupture that lipid layer, then those nanoparticles can travel safely into the cell where they increase NAD production.
Interesting. And how, so the size of your particles, was one thing I know from skincare, because I've been into skincare for a long time, is actually getting them to penetrate beyond that sort of horny layer where you've got dead skin cells and push through to the epidermis is actually, or the dermis. It can be quite difficult, right? It's down to the molecule size. These do go deep, do they? And they penetrate?
Yes, we're looking at two things. Number one, yes, we're looking at literally having them small enough to get to where we want them to get to. So we have pores. We need to have them smaller than a pore. So smaller than 500 Daltons, for that matter, if someone wants a size metric. So we want to have them smaller than a pore. And then when they're in that dermis, hypodermis layer, which are the innermost layers of your skin, then they need to be utilized there. So it's not only getting them there, it's now having them travel into your cell from the extracellular matrix, just hanging out there in the dermis. Getting absorbed into the cell is a different issue, and that's why we're not using NAD specifically. That's why we're using the precursors, which have, we've evolved to utilize them and to get them into our cells.
And what was the reason for using both? Just to give more input? You chose obviously use the NMN and the NR, just to make it more powerful.
Yeah, think about it that, a company normally, I can tell you behind the scenes, takes about 5 to 7 years to really create a product A to Z. So imagine if we've started using just one and then figured out the other is way better for your skin or vice versa, right? Yeah, we can always change right now when we're in production, but developing a product and going through that 5-year span, what if things change? And that's why we decided to use both. And you can really see how voices from within the research community, the longevity community, starting to speak of using both of them in conjunction in order to optimally raise NAD levels, even when we're speaking of systemic NAD levels.
Yeah, I've seen that too. And it's interesting what you say there as well about getting the skin to do its job and supporting the lipid layer, because I guess that's one of the things I've noticed myself is before I would find, and I think this is the biggest thing, is I started using it back in October time. So the weather was changing, it was becoming less mild here in the UK. And then usually what I'll find is the skincare that I'm using needs boosting or needs something as I transition through winter. Whereas actually it kept for the first time, and I've used a lot of different skincare and medical grade products and things, it just kept a really, really nice sheen and barrier on my skin. Is that because it's actually supporting what my own cells are doing?
Yes, 100%. There is another thing that I've never mentioned before, we can get into why, but there's another thing happening there, which happens because of our resveratrol. So we have we're using a specific resveratrol in the care product. Eye care, we have a different modality, and why, we can definitely talk about why, but care with NR Noble, our concentrated moisturizer, has a fermented resveratrol. And the reason we use fermented resveratrol, just as a caveat, is resveratrol is actually toxic for your skin. Okay, resveratrol isn't good for our skin. Our skin doesn't have the enzyme to break it down like our stomach does, like our digestive tract has. And when we, and I'm giving homework to you and your listeners. If you stumble upon a product that says resveratrol, read the back label. You'll see the resveratrol is really down, next to the ingredients like fragrance or whatever that may be that they're also using there, because it's just gonna get the skin very irritated and red. Because it can't break it down and it stresses it out. So what we're doing is we're fermenting it and introducing that enzyme in the fermentation process. And then our skin can break it down very easily because the enzyme exists when we apply it on the skin. And that fermentation process does increase or cultivate your skin flora as well, the microbiome of your skin as well. Okay. And that, transitioning between seasons and maintaining a good protective layer of the skin also is connected to your skin microbiome, aside from the fact, that we're literally optimizing your skin. So, what's the difference between a 20-year-old and a 80-year-old? The difference is not obviously the accumulation of unrepaired damage, but if we're really looking at our cells, is how well do they adapt? How well do they respond to a new stimulus? And that is where you're going to see great results with our products. Your skin is going to behave like a younger skin.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. I do feel, and it's got a very smooth finish to the complexion. And also, if you're putting on any kind of like makeup, it provides a really lovely underneath, right? That's the thing as well, and that's what a lot of people look for. So with the eye care, I have some questions actually from listeners. So one thing that was asked was, is the eye care suitable for people who have any kind of dark circles or pigmentation? So specifically in like Asian populations, they will often notice some pigmentation and it can come up underneath the eye area. Will it help to fix those problems?
100%. And that is why, there is a limit to the amount of active ingredients, if you want them to be effective, that you can put in one formulation, right? So when we were tackling, under eye skin, also over eye skin, but under eye skin, really looking at what is the best product we can make as far as that goes, we were looking at mainly glycation. So mainly a process that happens in our body, but also to our skin, where the end result of it is a more rigid, thinner skin. And what happens around the eyes, aside from a loss of fat and loss of support, we're also getting a thinner and more rigid skin, which would create wrinkles, which would reveal the dark color because of blood, the dark color under our skin. And that's why people get, dark circles. So to answer your question, that is exactly why we've to which purpose we've designed our eye cream, to tackle those specific processes that are happening specifically for our under eye skin. So if someone wanted like a general moisturizer, they can just use our care product also under their eyes. If they did want to tackle puffiness, dark circles, crow's feet, more acute under eye issues, that's where they want to use our eye care.
And can you go right up to like on the eyelid as well, and right up to the eye? So some of them you've got to stay on like the orbital bone, don't you? Because they can be quite heavy. But I mean, I've certainly gone very close to the eye with this.
Yeah, and it depends obviously on the individual. Some people, they have they naturally kind of usher products into the tear duct. And they can their eyes can get watery. For these people specifically, they probably should stay away from getting it very close to the eye, because naturally when they blink, etc., that that product's going to kind of climb up to the ear duct, to the tear duct. So, for those people, they know their own skin. They should probably stay on the orbital bone, but in general, yeah, you can use it as close to the eye as you would like on your eyelid, no problem.
Amazing. And is there, with the delivery system that you use, is there any need to use, or would it enhance if you use something like a derma roller? Is it going to enhance product penetration?
It's not going to enhance product penetration. And in general, when we're using a derma roller, obviously when we're using it in a professional setting, it's a different issue. If you have an esthetician, doing like mesotherapy or any kind of the esthetician puncturing your skin, they know what they're doing and why they're doing it. But when you're doing it at home, it's mainly to kind of create controlled damage that then the skin needs to repair. These two processes definitely work well together because we improve how your skin behaves. We improve how it's going to heal itself from that controlled damage. But as far as penetrating products deeper into the skin, I don't see how it's going to help. Obviously, we didn't study it, so I can't give you like a straight answer. They definitely work well together. I don't know if for penetration purposes.
Okay, more for the repair purpose.
Yeah.
And enhancing collagen. Will your products help to support the production of collagen and elastin in the skin?
Yes. So when we just made the products and we were trying to get our first clients and trying to figure out how do we explain to someone who's outside of our bubble of understanding NAD, etc. How do you explain it to someone that's a plastic surgeon, that's a professional esthetician, just someone who's very interested in skincare and is doing those procedures for themselves? How do you explain to them what our product does? Because every skincare product on the market, whether it costs £1 or £1,000, they all say the same thing: increase collagen production, whatever that may be. And we really need to, drive home the point that our product doesn't make your skin only appear younger, it makes it behave younger. I do a lot of contact sports, and we have a joke that before the age of 35, you're asking yourself, if you've gotten injured, how long will I be injured? And after 35, the joke is it me now? Is just a new feature of me, and it's never going to go away. And that is, obviously, we have that intuitive connection between us getting older and the repair processes in our body slowing down or even stopping. And that's where our products really, really, really shine, is where we're asking the skin to do something that it did when it was younger: repair itself well, create collagen, take care of the DNA and epigenetic damage that UV and blue light has done when we've walked around during the day. Obviously, in the UK, it's less of a problem than here in Miami, but it's still a problem. So from pollution, for example. So all of these things, all of these small increments of unrepaired damage that really, in the end, we call them aging, that's where our product really shines.
Yeah. Amazing. And then you have another product, which is your Procare. What's the difference between the way that one's working compared to the Care cream?
That's it. Even though we still call it, Procare, and it's still part of our kind of care line, it's a completely different product. So what it is, it's a cream or a serum, that downregulates mTOR. To anyone who hasn't heard, I like, describing mTOR as our gauge for abundance. So obviously, if we have an abundance epidemic going on in the world right now, people are getting, out of shape, obese, they're not moving a lot, and all of these things are first world problems. And I'm just, explaining it so people understand that abundance can be an issue. Abundance isn't always positive, and our body's not built for excess abundance all the time, and our skin isn't either. So when that mTOR pathway is very active, and we can talk about what happens in the body, but what happens in our skin is an expression of a protein called progerin, which, if someone remembers, progeria is a malady that happens from excess progerin production, which basically makes us age way faster. If you remember, I think the Robin Williams movie. I think I had a movie where he was aging very fast. But basically, when 5-year-olds look like they're 50, is progeria. But we all have that protein accumulating in our skin due to mTOR. And what we did and we published the research on that as well, we've managed to isolate molecules from algae that downregulate mTOR, downregulate progerin, and along with other gene modulators that we've extracted from marine algae, we've made a product that really, from lack of a better word, really reverses some aging processes in the skin, and the results are remarkable. If someone can afford it, because it's a pretty expensive product, if someone can afford it, that would be my my go-to product. Even though we make other amazing products, this product is just incredible. And we've introduced vitamin C there, and we have basically also mimics the effects, the hormetic effect, so the effects, the positive stressors that metformin, induces in the body. So we also have a lilac cell culture there that we've isolated the stressors that metformin has, and these also in conjunction to balance our sebum levels, so how oily our skin is. So if we're drier or oilier, it's going to balance it out. It increases how our mitochondria operates and functions and improves it. So that's an amazing product, yeah.
And would you use the Procare alongside the other care moisturizer, yes, or is it instead of? You'd use both together? Yeah,
that we've made it to be a serum, and you can really think of serums in general, all serums that you're going to be using, whether it's ours or other ones, you can really think of them as your way to tweak and choose the path, tackle specific things that are bothering you with your skin. So moisturizers, cream, they're going to be more of a overall support. But when you're really looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, this and that bothers me, normally you would want to look at a serum that, claims to treat those problems. We can have more actives there.
And the Procare is that. So yeah. in an ideal world, talk me through, how would this work? So you would use the cleanser that you have, and then afterwards, is there a toner that you need to use, or you just cleanse and then?
So it really depends on the person. I really recommend using a toner, and the way to tone your skin with our products would be our BioC peptide spray.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I have that. I use that myself. It's very brightening on the skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, when we started, so that's our toner, but we've made it so. Are you familiar with these companies that make like aerosolized thermal water? Mm-hmm. That's just why you're just buying like water aerosolized and you're spraying it on your skin. And my life partner has been using it for many years, and a lot of other people that I know. And I was always looking at it it was very strange to me. Like, why wouldn't people use something that gives them some benefits? Why just spraying water on their face and even, paying 10, 15 pounds for a little can of it? So when we were looking at making a toner, I was talking to our scientists and telling them, do you know this? I was telling about those thermal waters. I want to do something like that. I don't want to aerosolize it, obviously, because it's not good for the environment, but I want to make a product where people can spray on themselves during the day, even if they have makeup on, to freshen them up, but they would also get other benefits from it. So we've designed a product that tones your skin, balances the pH of the skin, has a very unique vitamin C that's water soluble, and in the concentration of that vitamin C, it actually improves how you handle sun damage. So it's an amazing overall product. but it definitely is an amazing toner. So yeah, you could use that as your toner.
And actually, what I really like about that, you were talking about the water solubility of that vitamin C, is that the a lot of vitamin C products are oil based, and you have to be so careful because they can actually cause breakouts. And that's the thing that I haven't enjoyed with them. And you have to be really careful, particularly if you've got, you know, for women listening, if you've got any hormonal issues, that you can definitely get some breakouts on the oilier areas. Whereas with that vitamin C peptide spray, I haven't found that because water soluble is very, very nice and it's very fresh.
Yeah. And the next product you would be using is a serum, and we have 2 serums. And just, you know, going back to Procare and what you have just said, the reason originally we're looking at way to balance sebum before we've even incorporated our lilac cell culture there was because we've recognized that we have, you know, over 3% vitamin C that's oil soluble. This can cause breakout. It can basically disrupt a few things. One of them is sebum production, and we had to balance it out in the most biohacky way, and what we found was those cell cultures that could do that. But just to your anecdote, that's spot on. So we have 2 serums. One is a Retinol Serum. So it's retinol, but it also has our unique proprietary method of rebuilding the skin protective layer. So it's not only a retinol, it has we've matched biomimetic lipids to it. So lipids, oils that are almost identical to your natural oils that make up your skin barrier. The difference is that they don't oxidize, so they don't become dark. And as we know, if we have too much sebum in our pores, it becomes dark, and that's what we call blackheads, right?
Yeah.
So the biomimetic lipids that we're using do not oxidize. They just repair that layer that can be damaged with retinol. And that's why some people get red, irritated, sensitive to the sun, etc. It's all from that damaging of the protective layer of the skin. And our retinol does not do it. So you're not becoming red, irritated, anything like that. So you could choose using that, or you could choose using our Procare serum. Or, by the way, you could combine both of them. That's what we're really proud of, is that there's no problem combining both of them on your hand or one after the other on your face. You wait for that to absorb and dry, and then you apply your moisturizer and your eye cream, for that matter, which is our Care and Eye Care. We have another moisturizer, which is a lighter moisturizer, which we call Care Boost, and that has just a lot of our resveratrol. So for people who are more pigmented, they care about their pigmentation more. For people who the Care concentrated moisturizer maybe is a little heavier for them. For people who are interested in activating their sirtuins or their longevity genes in general, we found that NAD peaks 8 hours after applying our noble products. So a good time to be using a sirtuin activating compound such as resveratrol would be, the best time would be 8 hours after we've applied our noble products such as Care or Eye Care. So this is a way to really, you know, tailor your regimen to yourself specifically, but that's an add-on. And if someone wants a consultation of how to use that specifically, they can always reach out to us or try it as a lighter moisturizer.
So could you use the antioxidant, could you use the Care at night and then 8 hours later put the antioxidant serum on to protect your face during the day, and then you're using that sirtuin enhancing pathway and making the most of it?
Yeah, not only that, we actually, when we for the longest time on our website, they were dubbed, you know, those were their names. Care was a nighttime repair product, and Care Boost was a daytime cream. But you know, that's a very square way of looking at things, and we're not a very square company. And we've decided to be true to what the products are. One is a heavier kind of kitchen sink, throwing everything at aging that we can, and another one is a very refined product for very specific things. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of confusion where and when you should be using either or. But we're okay with that confusion. We can educate our audience. Our audience are intelligent and knowledgeable and are seeking knowledge. So we're not afraid of extra education.
And so could you even use them both together if you wanted to? Would there be there wouldn't be a downside to that?
100%, yes. Okay. For people who are over like 60, 70, we do see a lot of people that like to combine both of them and get that extra hydration, and even using it twice a day, combining both of them.
Amazing. Does it have, when you talk about the hydration, does it have hyaluronic acid in it to help with hydration?
So some of our products do have hyaluronic acid, but hyaluronic acid per se is something that our skin makes as well. Mm-hmm. And we can go. We do make a professional product that has hyaluronic acid in it, but I would like to mention first that we use products, for example, that lilac extract we've been speaking about, that increase your natural production of hyaluronic acid. We have some other astragalus extract in Care that does it as well, but in general, we're looking to increase. Again, we're coming from a biohacking standpoint. We're not looking to give the skin just the raw molecule that's the end of the process. We're trying to increase our own synthesis of hyaluronic acid. And we do make some professional products that aren't available online. And one of them is a adaptogenic hyaluronic acid boost that does have some hyaluronic acid, but we're using a mushroom that's called snow mushroom that's 400 times more effective as far as a humectant, because it increases our natural production of hyaluronic acid. So yeah.
In the skin specifically?
In the skin specifically, yeah.
It's interesting. I've been taking snow mushroom in a blend in the morning. As part of my biohacking stack.
That's great.
So yeah, interesting. And then the other one that was exciting, when we were chatting before the show, we were talking about the Adaptogloss and the ability to like plump out lips. Let's explain for people that I know a lot of women listening will be excited about this.
Yeah. So, well, let me start by saying that in America, an average American that uses lipstick swallows 4 pounds of lipstick a year.
4 pounds.
4
pounds.
My God.
Wow.
Yes. So almost 2 kilos of lipstick a year. Okay. So it's very important for us to know what's in the things we put on our lips, right? And normally when we're looking at lip plumpers, we can look at two, more natural products. They're going to be using cinnamon or pepper, and less natural products, which are more effective, by the way, they're using other caustic agents, sensitizers that are not healthy. And also, heavily processed cinnamon and black pepper aren't very healthy anyway. All of those products, because the way that they work to plump the lips is by making the lips more sensitive and inflamed, basically. Then we swallow those ingredients, and many people don't like the taste. It gives them acid reflux, and in general, and not a nice feeling over here. And even if you don't feel it, those ingredients get into your body. So when we've played around in the lab and looked at making some product that's more fun, it's not really part of our ultra sophisticated image of like whatever. We wanted to make a fun product. We were thinking of biohacking lip plumping, and the way that we did it is, instead of those caustic agents, instead of those bad products people put out there, we used niacin, flush niacin, and we actually isolated the most flushing niacin there is, and that is what plumps the lips. So when you apply it on, you have about 2 to 3 hours of plumped lips because of that flush that niacin promotes. And what's really cool about it is that the end of that process is that niacin turns into NAD in our skin of the lips and in our body. So we're getting that benefit too.
That's very cool. And does it have pigment to it where it's a flushing one, or?
No, it doesn't. Well, it brings more blood to the area, so it definitely does get the lips, slightly more pink or red. What we did add there as well is a very, 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 very strong antioxidant that's called lipochromin. And this antioxidant is not only tackling oxidative stress as we know it, it's also tackling two other types of free radicals that exist and need to be tackled. So it's a really, really, really cool product.
Yeah, very cool product. Could you put it, it's only because I do this with a lot of lip products, could you put it around the top of your cheekbone as well? Or,
yeah,
you
yeah.
could.
So
Okay.
that's something that we've discovered a lot of people like doing.
Okay.
We never knew it existed beforehand.
Yeah, it's something I like to do. Ah, interesting. I'm going to have to try the Adaptogloss now. I mean, I was
Yeah.
slowly becoming addicted to each one of your products, so no surprise there. So what's new? Are there new things coming? I know you've got some in-clinic stuff. Is there a mask or anything coming out? Is there anything you can share, or is it all top secret?
Okay. No, nothing secret. In general, we're pretty open book. So we can talk about like really, really, really cool things that are, more down the line. But if you're interested in, as far as what we're making now for clinics, we wanted really to get into that business to business market in the United States, especially where we're based. These are completely different markets, what you can buy online and what you can buy from your medical provider. And I remind you, it's not a free healthcare in the United States. So the healthcare system really is geared towards profit. And what happens is that the doctors don't want to sell products that you can buy online. They want to sell different products. They want to be special. So we're making special products for them. And again, coming from our background and our approach that we want to biohack everything, we made products that are specifically kind of biohacking processes or treatments they're already doing in their office. So we did speak about the hyaluronic acid booster that we have, because a lot of medical spas, etc., they try to boost hydration in the skin just by applying more hydration to the skin. And what we did, we said, let's improve how our skin maintains hydration. So that's number one. Another product we have, before I tell you about the cool mask, because I think it's the coolest, is a serum that increases the effects and the efficacy of light therapy. So red light therapy, which is a rejuvenating process in general for our body, but also for our skin, really relies on movement of free radicals. We're not really going to get into it unless you want to, but it relies on the movement of free radicals, which is positive. But the actual free radicals are not positive. They're negative. They damage. They cause cell dysfunction and even death, which is in our skin. Again, translated in the end to uneven pigment, less collagen, and everything that we know is the appearance of aging. So what we did is we found a series of articles of studies published by the University of Ulm in Germany, looking at how they used a very specific antioxidant, which everyone, I recommend ingesting it about 15 minutes before they undergo a light therapy treatment, a red light therapy treatment, which is called EGCG.
Which is found in green tea.
Commonly found in green tea. Unfortunately, it is extremely difficult to extract it from green tea in a way that it's going to be stable and available later on in our formulation. So it took a long time, but we've isolated it, and we have about 5% of it in a serum that's a green tea serum. And when you apply it about 15 minutes before light therapy, it increases dramatically the results of light therapy. So that is a product that we make for the professional market. We have we've spoken about Procare. So we have the same as Procare, but in a cream form that we sell only to the professional market, so they can finish their treatment with a nice moisturizer that also downregulates mTOR. And the last but not least is our Hyperbaric Mask. So I'm originally from Israel, and I don't know if you know, Israel and the Weizmann Institute, which is our kind of MIT, has been very, very vocal about the benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, or just hyperbaric chamber therapy. And now the world's starting to catch up. Many professional athletes, probably every professional sports team already has one. And we were looking at, again, holistic benefits, whole body benefits, systemic benefits are nice. What about our skin? How can we improve that age reversing modality? How can we improve how it reverses age in our skin? So we're using a yeast extract called VitaCell that increases the amount of oxygen your skin metabolizes. And you can find it in many products, by the way. It is a patent and a trademark, but many products use it. We just, instead of just putting it on our label, we just have a lot of it. We have the highest concentration in the world. And that's a mask that you put on while you're going to that hyperbaric chamber therapy. You could also, if you don't do hyperbaric oxygen therapy, this also mimics the effects of hyperbaric oxygen therapy on your skin. So you could just put it as an overnight mask or even 10 minutes to mimic the effects of hyperbarics on your skin. So you increase the amount of oxygen that your skin metabolizes, which literally propels it into a regenerative mode. So we literally force the skin to regenerate.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to open my own biohacking clinic with hyperbaric oxygen and red light in your products. I've always had this dream of one. Yeah, that just sounds amazing. Wow. And so that's out now, is it? This oxygen mask, or it's coming out?
Yeah, they're eventually we're going to make it available for everyone to just purchase online. Right now, the 4 products I mentioned, they're only available through physicians in the US. Again, you're in the UK. We have a lot of customers from the UK that, for them, there is no doctor that carries it, right, in the UK, right? So they can always email us, and we can kind of send them a link to purchase those products if they wanted to, because we do have some extras. The whole idea when we started, these products were only to treat people with the same medical facilities, doctors, estheticians, whatever. They, in the end, also want to make profit off the back end. They also want to sell products to their patients. So they started asking us for take-home sizes, take-home versions of those products. So now we have a limited amount of, we call it our small batch products. We have a limited amount of them. When they're available, we're happy to ship them all over the place. They're selling out pretty fast normally. People who know them normally back up on them. So you'll serve like, 15 hyperbaric masks. That's pretty common here. And then this person's kind of, we're sold out after that person or someone like that. So when we have them, we're happy to ship them. If someone emails us and we don't have them, we make sure we're putting them on a wait list. So we're very friendly. Yeah, we're very friendly to talk to. We love when people, email us or send us a message to our website.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a very friendly, hands-on company. I love that. And that's exciting. Those products sounds awesome. Anything that you would recommend out of your range that you could use in infrared sauna, for example?
Okay, so the lip plumper is something that you should definitely use in infrared sauna. You could
put it all over the face, right, and have a big kind of flash.
You could. I think it's not an expensive product. If you were to use it all over your face, it can get quite expensive because you're going to need a lot of it. You can definitely use it all over your face. The best thing to do for infrared sauna is really not only not have anything on for a couple of hours before, to be honest with you. And that's for infrared sauna, that would be specific, especially if you're not sitting in one of those tents that get all the way up to here. If your facial skin is also exposed to it, that's a definite tip. Just don't have anything on at all. If your facial skin isn't exposed to it, the Procare would definitely be the one I would be using.
Okay. Great tip. I mean, yeah, I'd go in the sauna in the morning for that reason, because I just think it's better to have my skin clear. Sometimes I'll actually do a whole kind of body brush and like exfoliating full body treatment and my face so that I can really release toxins more easily. So my skin's really pure, got rid of all the dead skin cells. Then I'll go in the sauna. I might do some like niacin to create a flush, or for example, even black pepper tea I'll take in the sauna. And then I come out and I'll stick a mask in my hair. So I'll wash my hair before I go in, stick a mask in. So now I'm getting a treatment in my hair, just all clipped up. And then I come out and cold shower off. It's quite a nice routine.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect plan. So you could definitely use our cleanser before to wash the face. You can tone it. So you can use our cleanser and the Bio-C peptide spray. If you're in a type of, again, in a contraption that allows the Bio-C peptide spray to be next to you, that's definitely something that you can be spraying to kind of freshen up during the sauna.
Okay.
But I wouldn't bring it into those temperatures. So if it's a sauna where you need to bring the product in, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it, because it might destroy it. And actually, on that point, before we come to a close, what about like preservatives, any kind of chemicals? What's your kind of take on that, just for people listening, maybe thinking about that?
Okay, so I do have a take on it, actually, because we do have, our community and communities that are adjacent to our communities. They really are interested in natural products and even like DIY products and stuff like that. We are interested in the highest efficacy. We don't have preservatives. We don't use fragrances, but we do use, for example, a type of silicone that evaporates when you apply it on the skin. That's part of that protective stabilizing layer. So we do use products that don't end up in your skin, but that are stabilizing the product until it gets to your skin. Obviously, we're also doing things that are more kind of holistic, such as all our products are within a vacuum. So when you pump the product out, there is no interaction with air. There are other things we're doing to kind of mitigate that erosion over time. We try to be as natural as we can, as long as we can get the actives where we need them and for them to act effectively.
Yeah, which is the key thing. And what about any body care products coming out? I always feel like this is an underrepresented area in the industry.
Yeah, we actually have a finalized product as far as body care. Is a regenerative body cream, which we have a technology which we're now trademarking. So I can't get into it that much, and that's the only thing that stops us right now. That trademark, that registration of a trademark for that proprietary system that we're using there, it's going to be ready very soon. And the reason we made it to begin with is we have a few friends that are really, do you know like the Ninja Warrior?
Yeah.
So we have I don't know if you know, the founder of it is a big biohacker. Mm-hmm. And there are many in the Ninja Warrior community that are kind of, that are in the biohacking community. And obviously their hands are completely trashed, like anyone who's relying on their skin to be holding a lot of weight. So we've been making it for our friends for a while, small batch. And everyone seems to be in love with it. We can't keep up with the demand, so we're gonna expand our production. We're gonna trademark whatever we need to trademark, and it's gonna be out probably in the next 3-4 months.
It's exciting. I'll look out for that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share before we close?
Obviously it's important for us to say we're a skincare brand. We're a biohacking skincare brand. We make the best products you can have for your skin to function well. But it would all be in vain if you didn't take care of your general health and optimize your body. We're big believers in that. We have a podcast named Biohacking Beauty, just to trick people into listening to it, thinking they're going to get skin tips, and all they're getting there is like the way to breathe correctly, and ice baths, and how to biohack your heart rate variability, and many other things like that, really to improve their overall health, so our products can function in the best way, right? So that's our message. Our message is keep yourselves optimized so our products can work optimally.
I love that. That's so true. Because it's an inside out job. That's the thing, right? You can't expect anything topically to do the work if you're not willing to put it in yourself. And it's everything.
Yes. Yes.
Even down to like things like strength training. I know when I was interviewing Dr. Jen Haley, we were talking about just the fact that when you're strength training, the impact that has on bone density and keeping the facial structure and keeping your muscles strong and all these things makes such a massive difference in the food you put in.
I'll give you like one last anecdote about strength training and moving in general and the skin. We have the systems that are responsible for detoxification in our body. They don't have a pump like the heart to work for us. It really relies on our movement, whether it would be because our muscles are going to basically are going to support our glands that are responsible for toxin removal, or just sweating, and obviously bowel movement, anything like that. We really are almost reliant on our body moving for that to happen. And in order for that to happen, well, we need to tax our body. We need to challenge our body. So your skin will have problems detoxifying if you're not working out, if you're not, just moving. And that's just one example. Obviously, your skin's not going to repair itself very well if you're not going to be getting adequate sleep. If you're going to be eating subpar food. So if we eat a lot of if we ingest a lot of oils that come from plants, from seeds, rapeseed oil, whatever that may be, those oils in the end are what makes up our lipids that we've been speaking so much of in our body. So that's the building blocks our body is going to use. So every aspect of our health really ties into anything else we want to affect. And I'm happy to improve people's health through their vanity. I'm vain. I think anyone has vanity within them. And if we can harness it in order to improve our health, that is where it can be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad you made that point, because I'm always saying to people, watch the fats. It's so important because they actually become part of your cells. To a degree, yes, sugar causes its own set of problems, as we've spoken about, and things like glycation. But if you're exercising and you're moving a lot, there's a certain amount that you'll burn off. But those fats, there's nothing you can do, right? They're going to be incorporated into your cellular membranes.
Yeah, they're literally like, you can think of your body as one big plant, and you can think of your every cell in your body as one of those small plants, and it like a power plant, like a production plant, and really, there are different facets. Our employees, how well are they working within that plant? What are the supplies we're bringing to that plant? What orders are we asking the plant to produce? So, these are all analogies to what food we're giving our body, what signals we're giving our body, and how well our cells function because we support them in the right way. So yeah,
amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Amitay. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you.
The pleasure was all mine.
Thanks again for coming on. Please link. Young Goose is the website, right? Younggoose.com. Before you go, you must say, why is it called Young Goose? I've been wondering that.
Okay, so actually, that's a funny story. We've been making skin barrier reparative serum for professionals for almost a decade under the brand Hormesis, which we own the trademark for the actual word in skincare. When we were looking, to build a brand around our products, someone has registered Hormesis for supplements like 2 weeks before we were looking at it. We didn't know that brand. We didn't know if they were going to do a good job. We didn't want it to be conflated with us. So we had to rethink the name. I used to have a nickname, Goose, way back when. Aside from that, our partner, who is a big shot lawyer, has a lot of brands with Goose in them, whether it would be the vodka, whether it would be a coat, whether it would be shoes. He really liked the connotation with Goose and something natural. And it was only natural that if we're talking about a goose, we want to make it a young goose. That's what we're all about. So It started as a little joke. We're not taking ourselves too seriously. So once everyone in the office really liked that joke, we said, you know what, that's going to be the name of our brand, if only for people to ask why.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely a conversation starter. So
Yeah.
younggoose.com, and I will share that in the show notes. I think you've given everyone, actually listeners, a discount as well. If they go to, I've set up a shortened link actually, so they can use the discount. If they go to bit.ly/younggoose and use code Angela Foster, they'll get 20% off their purchases. So thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor appearing at your podcast.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. It's really been an honor to have you on the show. Thanks, Amitay.
Thank you very much.